to this and to maintain a family and to take care of kids. And also, you mentioned about things taking the sex appeal out of it because that's a tough part about that. Especially, you got to think about it. As I said, my crime again, I'm a mustard pear smell, and I know the guys out there when we go to the shows. And we go to you see y'all ladies on the stage and y'all pumped up and y'all shiny with your oil and your tan. We see that, we get a little excited, you know. But
Beautiful.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. But people to understand to get to that,
Mhm.
to pretty much to be nearly dehydrated, to be hungry, to starve yourself, hours of training, in and out of the gym.
Yeah.
There's so much more to what we see. And that thing is, that's why I think a lot of people can't do what you do. Is, you were talking with, KL about the fit model thing, and here's my sense of it. Falling bottom is like I have. You're bringing in another division that's just going to evolve instead of just solving the problems, which is really with the judging of the
Yeah.
other divisions. You're just bringing in something that's just going to end up evolving just like the last.
Right.
It's just
Exactly.
you're not really helping it. I know you want to bring in people to get more attention to it, but you're really just going to have another division that end up becoming like the figure girls are going to look more like physique competitors now. The bikini girls are looking more like the figure girls now, and then this division fit model, it will be long before it looks like more like what you're going to see currently in bikini.
It's just what happens. It's the nature of the sport. We keep getting leaner and harder. And I know I talked a little bit about this with Ed. They tried to reel it back in and it didn't work. It didn't work. They tried to really judge based off of the criteria that's written versus what's actually in front of them. So I appreciate the effort, but you're right. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to evolve into what bikini is today, just like bikini already did. Look at those glutes and capped shoulders. It didn't start like that. That's not what it was. That's not a, what do they say in the description? I think it's swimsuit model. That's not a swimsuit model. It's just evolved.
Yeah. Here's the thing I say about that division. I call it no offense to competitors, no offense to them, but I call it invasive species. It wasn't traditionally here. Like if you look at the other divisions, you look at it started women's bodybuilding, and women's bodybuilding started like almost like figure first. Then it
Mhm.
evolved. Then you here comes fitness that spin off of women's bodybuilding. Here comes figure that spin off of fitness, and then here comes physique because they wanted those same criteria. They wanted to throw back to like the classic Linda Murray or those or Corey Everson look. But if you look at it now, it's just I think also judge they judge by what they see.
Mhm.
But if the criteria is particularly you don't want girls to have styrated glutes, you don't want the girls to have round cap shoulders, then you should penalize those competitors. And
Exactly.
like one example, like I watched Olympia, Sarah Vegas. I respect what she did. I'm not a big fan, but I respect what she's doing. She's not a standard for in physique.
Mhm.
And if it was to one my opinion, it should have been Sharonka Hinton that should have won this year last year.
Oh,
You know,
interesting. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because she has more the classic look,
Yes.
nice width, nice physique, not too like I saw this video that Sarah posted on her IG when she's like, I think look like she's backstage and tan and she was shredded to the bone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
She
it's
was.
crazy. Yeah, you
Yeah.
saw the video too?
Yep. She was absolutely peeled. And it's beautiful. It's incredibly hard to get that lean. Our bodies don't want to do that. So all respect to her by all means. But again, is that what the division was designed for? Not really. We're pushing the limits pretty hard.
Yeah, but like I said, as any athlete, it's always pushing next, like how every sport changes from boxing to football, And this thing where everybody who looks at bodybuilding, everybody always says like this: it's all the steroids and this and then the gear and on and on and then
Yeah.
no. From my conversation with your ladies, and somebody said this, George, they tell me this: if I give somebody the same thing I take when I get ready for prep, when I get ready for a show day, it wouldn't work unless they follow the diet or the workouts and the rest and recovery. You just can't take anything and just come in like a bodybuilder. You have to,
Oh,
be work, be disciplined, and stay consistent.
yeah. It's a tool like anything else. And it's not a magic pill. It's not a magic shot. It doesn't work just because you take it. It's the last step when your diet is perfect and your training is, I don't think your training is ever perfect, but when your training is as dialed as you're capable of getting it, sure, then you're ready for the next step. But it's not that misconception. It actually used to frustrate me pretty bad because it doesn't work that way. That's not just because you take something, you're not going to all of a sudden step on stage with these big, beautiful shoulders. That's not how it works. And that's just the ignorance of general public and not knowing. I was like that. I had no idea. Just
Yeah.
ignorance. You don't know.
Yeah, I think that's why I think people need to educate themselves about bodybuilding, but because it's a very extreme sport, and that's where bikini came in. Said again, because of the extreme culture of the sport and how it has evolved, it's the reason why it changed.
Hmm.
But when you don't sit down and just hear from what this person said, but not just asking, okay, talk to a bodybuilder, reach out to somebody. Hey, tell me what got you into it. What you got to do, this and that. Just be educated. It's just you just can't just be ignorant and just say make assumptions. Because like I said, steroids and everything. You look at it, and I do content. I used to do content on women in mixed martial arts, MMA,
Yeah.
and I've seen ladies who got busted for taking steroids. It's not the same muscle level, you know. It's only used for help with like issues which you have like inflammation in your bones and your joints. It does help you build size. There's a lot more to it than just just getting big and huge.
Right.
But most people they just and it's like one thing they demonize bodybuilding more, but there's more use in like you look at like just the Olympics was just a while back, last year. There's been competitors who've been busted for using. And I remember this social scientist said like this: if you ask a group of athletes, especially Olympic level athletes, if you can take a pill and it can make you run faster, farther, jump higher. You can win medals and set records. Would you take it? And it said yes, but here's the outcome of it. You can lose 5 years of your life. Would you still do it? And that's what it says. Say yes.
Hmm. I think it's just understanding the risk and benefits of it all and using it correctly. A lot of people overuse it, not just in bodybuilding, it's a performance enhancing drug. That's across the board. We use it for aesthetics, but performance applies to any athlete, any sport. But yeah, you have to use it as safe as you possibly can. Check your bloods. If you have the ability to have it monitored by a doctor, by all means. My husband just had a very close friend and one of his old training partners. He actually died about 3 months ago
I'm so
from
sorry.
really, really poor PED use. And we watched him do it for years. We counseled him. We got on his ass. We loved him. We really tried to, man, what are you doing? And at 38 years old, went to sleep and didn't wake up. Autopsy showed that's exactly what it was from, overuse of PEDs for years, years. There's not a lot of good information out there, so people kind of gym bro it. That's what we call it, just your gym bro cycle, things that make absolutely no sense that you shouldn't be using if you're not a competitor, and even then you don't need that much. People overuse it, man, and they're paying for it. And like you said, it kind of gives the sport a bad rap. Oh, it's steroids and meatheads and they have no education and aren't well spoken and all of these things. It's just simply not true. It's just not
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, it's just people just going with what they hear, but media don't really educate the people the truth on it, and some people don't want to take truth because everybody like information like right now, blah blah blah, and that's it. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, after that, that's serious stuff. That's really serious. Tell me something, Crystal. I often ask you ladies this, especially as you're on your diets, and you got the babies around the house, and they like your snacks, and what's that thing, especially after your last show. What's that thing that was calling you, Crystal? What's that thing that I often said is that makes you stranger, but makes you
All right.
stronger?
That's an easy one. So my after a show, after nationals, for instance, those little Debbie brownies with the cosmic brownie sprinkles on them?
I heard those, yeah.
Yeah, that is my favorite thing in the entire world. I love them. I don't keep them in
Ooh.
the house. I don't give them to the kids. But after nationals, I had 2 boxes of those in my backpack for the flight home, which Florida to California is a long flight, and I downed almost both boxes. That is that chewy brownie. Bodybuilding aside, I've never been a condiment person. I don't like fried food. My diet's always been pretty plain, except for a good chewy brownie or cookie, ice cream. I'm a junk food junkie, man.
I'm telling you, being a fat man, even though I'm like lost a lot of weight, I still have my addictions. Like my nephew got me a thing of Oreo cookies yesterday afternoon. I ate just about half of them, but I
Yeah.
still, what I do, I had like I cooked me I had a little mac and cheese, some carrots, and some chicken, baked chicken. But still, there's things like one of my favorites. If I love sugar too, like I buy a thing of donut sticks, the little baby donut sticks. They
Oh
taste
yeah.
great, especially you warm them. Yeah, I love those. But also another thing I love is like I hadn't had it in a while. Is Chinese food. I mean,
Oh,
there's a place over. It's like the next town over. I'm like 2 miles from South Carolina border, and
okay.
there's a Chinese restaurant there. They do buffet. I remember a while back, me, my sister, and my nephew went. We had to go over check with my great niece because he had to drop some off to that's his daughter, and we stopped by this place. And I got myself a big plate, and I just say, you know what, I'm not gonna eat. I know I'm not gonna eat it all in one day, so I ate half of it one day, ate the other half the other day. It's just it's just sometimes it tastes good. I know that's not what they actually eat. That's what they feed us, but
Oh
it
yeah,
just
but it's great for
you
us.
know, yeah, because I know when I talk to you, a lot of bodybuilders are foodies, but some people have to deal with issues with food, especially if you're bulimic or you're anorexic. But that's the thing about it. People forget also the food is part of the process of growing. I know your coach, he has a plan set for you, and working on things. That's a good thing you have a good relationship with your coach because most people understand there's a good is that sometimes some coaches will give you a plan that's like a cookie cutter plan. I keep saying this. I know ladies who work with a coach that work with men, and then they give them the same thing that a man does. But men and women, we are biologically different. Where I said, we're the same race but different species. You can say genders, but I say species. But it's just you have to find things that work with you. And I know your coach understands you and your body, and you understand how far you want to go, or how you want to take this sport for yourself.
How far do I want to take it? So I'm pretty realistic. I try and be as objective as I can. I'm not going to be Miss Olympia. I got in the game too late. It's just not in the cards for me. I'm cool with that. If I make it to Olympia and get dead last, that's the highlight of my career. If I can be Olympia qualified, there's nothing better realistically for me. I'm 36. I can hit Masters Olympia in 4 years. So that's definitely on the table. I want to get to Masters Olympia. If I can get an O qualification, then that's the highlight. Obviously, I've shared this with Shane, and his response was encouraging. He is not a fluff and puff guy. That's part of the reason I like him so much. He's very straightforward, gives it to me straight. I respond really well to that versus the, well, you're doing really well. I don't like that. Just give it to me. And he seems pretty confident that an O qualification could happen a handful of years down the road. So those two things are a career highlight, hands down.
Yeah. I've been pro for about a couple of years, and I've known some ladies who have competed for a long time for the get the old qualification. And sometimes the right show, the right time. As long as Jessica Reyes Padilla is not doing the show, you're good.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
showed up to Legion. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not first or second, so there's
I'm, well, you got in the top 10. That's pretty good.
yeah, yeah,
You
I did. I
know,
was happy with that actually. That was
yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah, I think remember, a lot of competitors, they first shows they don't do as good. You're always going to be the bottom next to last. But then it's like I said, the process, the time to grow and develop, especially with older women, you hit that muscle maturity. Now you're 36. And another like one example I would look at, Andrea. She was like in her late 30s when she finally became Miss Olympia. Now she's 41. You look at people who are much mature that time to take that process. I've seen ladies in their 50s, close to their 60s, look in better shape than I do, and still maintain that shape. I mean, it's a lifestyle, and it's something that you have to understand. I mean, it's a lot of work to it, and most people, like I said again, don't have the aptitude, the discipline, and the motivation to do that work. Especially, like I said again, you're helping your husband with his business. You're taking care of 4 babies, and you're also working. You're still doing training other people too.
Yeah, yeah, it's all online, which is nice. I don't have a lot of interest in doing in person. It takes away from my training and my family, and the goal is to mitigate that as much as possible. So online works really well. And since the whole pandemic, that's what people want. I get more requests for online coaching than anything else, so that works out well.
Yeah, because I know that's where my mom passed away to the pandemic. She got the virus, and this is why I started doing we tried to do my interviews because of that. Because doing the live streams and talking to ladies, and I remember the first time I got to meet a female bodybuilder. It was just a great opportunity. A friend of mine, he lives in another town next over here in North Carolina. He had an event, and I met some ladies. A couple ladies I became friends with on social media, did interviews with, and then my first bodybuilding show was Savannah in 2022, and I got to go there, and I met Alina Popa. I met some other ladies. A while back, Rashana Boswell was down here in North Carolina. She was doing a
I've been
seminar,
there.
and I got to meet
Mhm.
her. It was a great opportunity to meet the amazing women in the sport and the people in the sport. and I get to learn more and more. I mean, yes, I'm a fanboy. I was so excited when I got to meet. I was just okay, calm. But it's a process when you use interviews and talk to you ladies. Here we got my man here, Timeless Win. He has a comment. He says, shout out to him. He says, Crystal is the best physique of legendary
Oh,
goddess. I'll tell you, Crystal. Hey, Crystal, I'm telling you this. I tell you, like, Chris, hey, it's like the episode of Chappelle Show when Charlie Murphy meets Prince and he's hanging out with this guy Nikki Free, and the guy like said, hey, yo, George got a new girl. She finds a motherfucker. They get excited. So, so, and oh yeah, he got one more. He says, says, I love you tattoos, Crystal. Now she
oh,
get tattoos. How long
I
you have
do.
been having tattoos?
What was that?
How long you been having tattoos?
All right, let's see. So I first started with a half sleeve, and that's been probably 15 years now. And then I just slowly added to it. This was the last piece I added, I think right before Nationals, actually. Been what, 3 years? And we're gonna keep going. I'm not gonna do this arm. This is my good arm. Obviously, I lose some lines and some striations and things over here, so I don't want to touch this yet. But I've got plans for some other ones shortly.
I think the best advice is not do too one on your back, because especially if it's large tattoos. Here's my personal opinion. I'm not a big fan of tattoos. I don't have none of them. I wouldn't want anybody to drag. No, that's not me. But I
Yeah, you don't do
know,
it. Feels good.
yeah, but I know quite who do have them. Some say they have to cut back because they know that sometimes that ink can take away the detail of the
Right.
muscle, especially when you look at the shoulders, and most definitely the figure pattern. Your shoulders are the most important part. You want that round capness. You want to see the details. But now for the judges that got a little smart on it, they don't penalize you as much. But like I said, to each their own. This is one more from my man, Timeless. It says, shoulders and biceps look insane. So thank you, brother. You missed the flex. When you want to watch the flex, it's back in the video. Check it out. Rewatch it if you want to see it.
Only
You
get
know,
one.
yeah, you only get one, guys. If you want to watch it, like I said, the links to her social media is in the description. I tell you guys, you want to see his flexes, that's where you can go. I don't usually ask for flexes because I saw Joe's comment. I didn't really read too well. I just quickly pull up and you just ask for flex. I usually don't like to bother you out with flexes because I know it's a lot to do. Who's that you're pointing at?
I thought it was a kid. This is my husband, Eric. Come here.
Oh, come
Say
here,
hi.
son. Come on,
Hey.
son. Hey, tell me, son, do you love this woman?
Oh my goodness, more than you'll ever know.
Oh,
Before you go, Eric, before you go, I want to say to you,
Okay.
young man, I like to say thank you for your service. No, I say no, I thank you for your service. I appreciate the place you made for our country in the United States Army. I appreciate that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you very
You
much.
never, no, you owe me no thank you. You never have to thank me. I appreciate what you have done, and it's good to support this woman and stand by her. I know there's days where you got 5 women in the house, man. I feel sorry for you, son.
he needs it.
Yeah, I got a really manly dog.
That's good. That's good. And so it's like a man and a half. So okay. But
Right.
There
thank
you
you,
go.
brother. And appreciate you.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome. You got a good man. You got a good
I
man.
do. Got a good one. Keeping him.
Yeah,
Say,
yeah.
say,
I know. You too. He said, yeah, you got a good man. Most women were like, I tell you, the women say they'll probably cut your throat, throw you down a well for your man. So, especially it's hard
Oh,
to find a good one. But yeah, it's good that he stand by you, he supports you. Because when I
very.
talk to ladies, especially family members, to understand what's involved in this sport.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, the streamer bodybuilder, like your parents might be saying, like, especially your dad says, "Sweetheart, yeah, I already got a boy. I don't need another girl." Your mom will be saying, "Sweetheart, you get too muscular. I don't know. You
Oh
think you might
yeah.
not find a man, or."
Nope. I get it. Not from my dad passed away a couple years ago, and my
I'm so
mom
sorry.
never looked at it that way. Actually, I'll brag on my dad for a second. He could barely move. He could barely walk. He can't breathe. And he still showed up to both of my first shows while he was still alive, barely making it to the very front row. He drove, I think it was 5 hours to Oregon for my first show and drove back the same night because he had to get home on his oxygen and all the things. So shout out to dad. He was very, very supportive. Very supportive.
Well,
But
rest in peace to him.
thank you. You get that a lot. Why would you want to look like that? My sister, So, like, how big are you going to get? Like, I don't know. I'm not done yet.
Yeah. Well, tell your sister, say, hey, why don't come to the gym with me and work it out? You see how you do,
Yeah. Yeah.
get them
We have
motivated into
a few
it.
times.
Yeah, that's the thing is, yeah, it is tough. And, family understand it, people, society's view on it, but
Hmm.
this is about you and what you want to do with your life. You found something that you're passionate for. I know there's not a lot of money in bodybuilding unless you're the lucky few, like you're the top, your competitors like a Samson Dew, a Chris Bumstead, Andrea Shaw. You can make a living for it. Sponsorship does help. Other than Chris, are you have any other, I mean, sorry, other than Eric, have you had other sponsors interested in you?
I'm lucky enough. My suits are sponsored by Raw. She provides me with beautiful suits. Shane's very, very particular about the cut, and she actually custom made an entire new pattern to suffice with what he wanted on my suits. She's amazing. And then I actually have a local guy. His name is Tony Giovanoni, and he's an old bodybuilder. He was Mr. Reno back in like 2007, and he can't compete anymore. So he sort of lives his dream through me, and he has sponsored me, I think, with $3,500. He sent me to nationals. That was how I got there. So that's just a huge blessing. He's obviously become a close friend of the family. Outside of that, no, I just have my sugar daddy paying for all my stuff so I can keep doing this.
Yeah, sugar daddy. That's the thing. Yeah, sponsorship does help if you can get the right people to back you. But sometimes, Chris, you have these weird guys out there that say, "Hey, Crystal, yeah, I saw your last show. So if I do something for you, no, no, no. This is. I say like this. I would, if I would could sponsor somebody, I say, Mrs. Garcia, we are particularly interested in you. We find your story about how you got into bodybuilding, your life with your husband, you're a mother of four children. That's very interesting. So I'm a company and I'm interested in maybe sponsoring athletes. So if you're particularly interested in being part of our company and be a brand ambassador athlete, we'd like to offer you opportunity. It's up to you. If you feel like that product helps in working your process, we're glad to do anything you need from us. And same thing, we have a good relationship with you. So, ma'am, if you're ever interested in it, just let us know and we'll set everything up for you in the future.
Those are the ones I need. I get a lot of the other ones, and I'm like, what? Why do you want to do that? Why do you just want to cash at me stuff? And then I learned why. But I need the real ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great to have that because I know the thing is that the views of it, they're gonna have this one side again. The people who don't like the sport. The other side, you might have the guys who might like it too much, a little weird,
Yeah.
But like anything, it's good that you have your friend, who helps you out. You're good to have, Eric that does that, and other people, your designer, and people that there support you. Because like I said again, it's tough sport. And I'm going to do live tomorrow. We'll talk about how I wish there was more like assistance for competitors, especially just saw Harold Trevino just had surgery. My friend Keith had surgery. He's lucky enough that he has some kind of support. Hella has to do a GoFundMe, and I know it's just a lot. And now you're IB Pro. There should be some benefits. Like, okay, if something happens to you, especially you have kids, you get hurt, you get sick, you have some kind of assistance. You pay a pro card every year. What's the point of paying those fees if they don't provide anything for you as an athlete? Like I said again, we don't come to see the judges, the promoters, the sponsors. We come see you competitors. And if anything, you're an investment. Most sports and athletes have that.
You're right. And actually, that's something I hadn't really looked at before. If you compare it to any other sport, the athletes are compensated except in bodybuilding. That's interesting. I think a lot of us don't get into it, probably the majority of us don't get into it with that expectation of any sort of monetary dispense from it. It's just a passion. Maybe it's a hobby that turns into a passion or, whatever it is, but you can't do well with bodybuilding without absolutely loving it. It doesn't work that way because it's a lifestyle. You don't just train or just eat the right things. It's your sleep, it's your whole day revolves around this.
Yeah, you want to be a complete athlete. It's rest, recovery, diet. Going maybe get a massage every now and then.
Yeah,
I mean,
your body.
those are yeah, working on your body, working yourself, and also make sure you take care of your mental aspects. Because I think one thing about it that we talk about is our issue with body dysmorphia, post-show blues. Because when you get those shreds, and then you start getting more soft and doughy, and then dealing with holidays where when your kids, even though your kids say they like eating what you eat, but when they go to grandma's house and she cooks ham, turkey, and everything, and tuna casserole, they're gonna want to eat that, but you can't because you're on prep. You bring your own
Yep.
food. Sometimes friendships have changed because it's something different they don't understand. There's so much that's involved in it. And yes, it's a hobby, but also some people take it as their job or their career. Those are the lucky ones who are sponsored and paid and make money.
Yeah. Yeah, and you touched on holidays, which is something that is really interesting. Nationals was in December, so I was prepping through Halloween. I really wanted the candy, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the holidays, right? This year, I really implemented, because there are times where we'll sit down at the dinner table and I've made my family something else. So I sit down with my Tupperware and eat my chicken or fish, whatever it is. On holidays, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm just a mom and I'm just a wife. We always host. And so this year I put the Tupperware away and I told my family, okay, today I'm here. That doesn't mean I need to eat like an asshole and eat a whole pie. I was still somewhat diligent and focused on protein and things like that. But it was so nice for them to just see mom just be normal, eat the same food, eat the same plate. Is the one day out of the year going to ruin my off season? No. No. If you're in a prep setting, then obviously you can't do that. But outside of that, I think that's a really important, healthy thing to do for relationships with your family. Don't be a bodybuilder on Christmas, not on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's tough, because in I think in a couple of weeks, no, this week from now, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic is supposed to start. They're going to do the amateurs. That's that first week, the last week of February, and then the first month of March is supposed to be the Arnold. I was a fan of his when I was growing up, watch his movies and like Arnold and y'all, but I'm not a fan of his politics when it comes to the divisions like women's bodybuilding, physique, and figure. How he cut them out of the show. But yeah, you have to be a mom. You have to enjoy those little times of life. I know eating the whole pie. Let me guess, pumpkin pie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm from the South, ma'am. It's sweet potato pie for us. We don't do no pumpkin.
Oh, that's right. Well, I've had sweet
Yeah.
potato. I do like that. That was my
Yeah.
go. I ate so much turkey that hopefully I was sick. I didn't want to eat anything else, but I still did. I went for sweet potatoes and pumpkin pie. Happy girl.
Yeah. My mom used to make these cakes, it'd be like 4 layer cakes, chocolate jelly. I mean, used to love that as a kid. We have here my man Panther7. Shout out to him. He says, hello, brother George, beautiful Crystal and chat. Hope all is doing well. Also, Crystal, what is something you would want to change or improve in the industry? So, in your standpoint as a competitor, you haven't been pro but too long. What would you like to see change in the sport for your minds, for you, as for your opinion?
So we're talking a lot about the monetary portion of it and the money. And I think it would be nice, at least for athletes, to have more of an opportunity to make money doing this. Sandy Williamson actually talked a lot about this at the women's workshop. I didn't make it this year, but last year, there was an entire piece, a segment that she had focused on. It would be nice for the athletes to be able to make a living doing this. And some of us do right now, but that's very far and few between. So it would be nice if there was more opportunity for that. Um, I think that they do a good job really treating us like athletes, men, women across the board. I know that's discrepancy in a lot of other sports, the whole men and women thing. I think it's appropriate. The bodybuilders make a lot more money in their payouts than we do, and I think that they should. That's what people are there to see. When was the last time you talked to somebody who went just to see the figure division? I haven't, unless it's my friends or my family. And the bottom line is it comes down to who people are there to see. Those are the ones that should make more money. Doesn't bother me. Not inviting us to some of the shows is a different story. I would like to see that, but that's just a personal issue. Otherwise, just giving more opportunity to make money, to do this, more investment so that the rest of us don't have to have normal jobs if we're good enough. I'm also not a person that's give everybody a ribbon and hand it out. I think if you earn it and you work for it and you deserve it, then yeah, it should be there for you.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's like I understand that this is how I say it like this. If you know the pipping game, the men's division, the men's open division is the bottom bitch. It's the ones that always get the attention, the money. Sassudu can walk away with nearly $500,000, but